Hey everyone, today I've got a pretty packed video with a lot of cool creative AI stuff. To start with, an incredible AI animation made by just one person that I really think elevates the entire AI video game. We have video in and out painting, and I'm not just talking about that like room extender thing that was going around a little while ago, real in and out painting. A look at a new model that takes 2D images and turns them into 3D models. It probably is the best one I've seen yet. A really remarkable AI audio storytelling tool. Some thoughts on AI from the world's most famous horror writer. It's Stephen King. I mean, I'm just gonna say it. You guys know it's Stephen King. And another free AI image to video model that you can use right now. First up, we have Glitch from Jeff Synthesize. This is a fully AI generated proof of concept. It's kind of a hybrid short film / trailer in the style of modern 3D animated films. Let's take a look at a scene real quick.
The last guy told me he was transferring me to a Wi-Fi wizard. So where's the magic?
No ticket number, no wizardry.
I didn't get a ticket number because your system hung up on me.
Dad.
Give me a sec, bud.
I'm elevating your case now, sir.
Dad.
Please hold for some elevator music and potential spiritual experience.
It's almost dinner o'clock already and I've got nowhere. Hello? Hello?
So yeah, that is pretty crazy impressive, right? Especially considering it was made by just one person. Jeff utilized Gen 2 as his primary video engine, sourced from images that he created in Midjourney. Now, just to add, Jeff did admit that this is a lot harder than it looks, and he is a traditional filmmaker and photographer, so I think there are a lot of hidden skills that are within this. This wasn't just, prompt and go, obviously. But I think Glitch really showcases what's possible by any of us with just the tools that are available to us right now. One of the best things about Glitch, by the way, is the fact that the story and character were created by Jeff's 7-year-old son. That's adorable. You can watch the full video over on Jeff's YouTube page that is linked down below. And I think he's got a 4K version up too, so that's pretty awesome. Next up, we have real video in and out painting, and it is pretty crazy. So this is Magic Edit. It is high fidelity, temporal, coherent video editing. And I guess they went with Magic Edit because Hefziv just doesn't have quite the ring to it. So at its baseline, it's a video stylizer, kind of like Gen 1. For example, you can see here, we can take some source video of a monkey, change it to a monkey playing on the coast, or even a teddy bear, or adorable puppies that turn into weird kind of cat-dog hybrids, or even a very, very short-legged Labrador Retriever. By the way, I know that anybody that publishes on GitHub is usually in the computer science field, probably doesn't know a lot about fonts necessarily, but I'm just urging you, don't use Papyrus. The work that you're doing here is amazing. It's just Papyrus. It's like one step above Comic Sans. Another example that I really liked was this POV shot of somebody riding a motorcycle, which they then changed with the prompt, a submarine traveling in the sea, fish swimming, into this. Yeah, that's just pretty cool. I will say it's still gonna do that AI stylization thing, like the guy's hands just turned into coral there, but still, it's just a cool idea and concept. You can also do the typical stylization stuff. For example, in this source video of a girl in a field picking a flower, which they then changed into like this anime girl. Now, what's funny about this particular piece of source video is that I've used the same source video on this channel before, which is sourced from Pexels, to stylize her as kind of an animated pirate. The whole method to do this was detailed in my AI animation tutorial video. You can check that out at the link below. But I will say the coherence in the Magic Edit version is definitely improved over my method. That said, I just noticed this, that the flower here kind of changes from what looks to be like one of those paper fans into a flower. So, coherency and consistency is still an issue with all of these models, although it is getting better every day. Both of these were also very impressive. I mean, there are still some issues with like the hat kind of is just sort of almost flies off of her. Might be a windy day. But the real magic in Magic Edit is the in and out painting. I mean, the fact that you can take all of these various different aspect ratios and change them into different aspect ratios is pretty nuts. I will say that the motion is a little bit on the wonky side, but let's not forget, those are not that man's legs. The other thing that I just noticed that I'm actually pretty impressed with is the fact that his legs are pretty much proportional to his body as well. And, you know, tone-wise, it looks, I mean, he definitely does not skip leg day. It looks to match the rest of his physique. It does make me wonder how it would handle, say, crop source footage of like Danny DeVito running. No offense against Danny DeVito. I do think that video outpainting really shines here, though, is in frame extensions. For example, the cute dog in the garden walking here, where it extends the background out, or, you know, this woman at sunset where it extends the beach and the sky. Now, if I'm being super nitpicky, you can see that where the source video ends and the sky begins here, there's kind of a change of gradient. It's kind of a harsh line, in fact. And then in the dog video, you can see as we extend up, there's sort of a bush that appears in front of the car. Again, that is being super nitpicky, and this, you know, technology is like 4 days old, so I'm not complaining here, I'm just pointing it out. I am really impressed with the tracking in this inpainting as well, considering that, you know, sunglasses were clearly inpainted onto this jogger, but the inpainted sunglasses are tracking along as the jogger kind of bobs up and down as she's running. Or in this example with this girl with headphones on, where she turns into like a Wilmington hipster in the year 2011. So this is another one where there isn't a platform where we can play with this yet, but the code is available. So if you've got the know-how and a machine that can run it, then, you know, you can start playing with Magic Edit. So I did read over the paper. I'm not saying that I understood the paper, but I did read over it. I mean, considering that there's a lot of math in here, yeah, I'm not fully comprehending everything. But the basic gist of it is that the Magic Edit model uses a method that they call detangling. Current AI video stylizers like Gen 1 look at video from 3 different aspects. Those are the content, the structure of the video, and the motion in the video. With detangling, Magic Edit has figured out a way to, well, detangle those 3 aspects and have the model read each individually and then kind of compile it all back together for the output. So I think that this definitely shows that the technology is more or less here, and, you know, we're probably not too long off with seeing something like generative fill in Photoshop appearing in Adobe Premiere. Quick note to mention, this channel is still facing the invalid traffic glitch that has affected many YouTube content creators. The glitch is limiting the ads on this channel. I mean, you guys still see them, I just get practically nothing for them. Talking to Google YouTube support today, their advice was, just keep making videos, you know, which I plan on doing anyways. But I would greatly appreciate if you might consider joining the Patreon to help me and this channel weather the storm. I have a few tiers up now with some different bonuses, and I'm constantly kind of thinking of new things that I can add to the Patreon. So anyhow, I thank you for considering. Next up, we have Tech, which is a 2D image to 3D model generator. It's pretty impressive. Tech stands for Text-Guided Reconstruction of Lifelike Clothed Humans. And I don't know why I'm being so salty with the GitHub people, but you're not allowed to just take acronyms and just assign them randomly. Like T for tech, yes, but then you skip everything else. There's no E, and then you have clothed humans. So it's just tech clothed humans, really, is what you're saying. That said, the tech of tech is pretty cool, considering that it creates models, you know, that are down to the level of clothes wrinkles, which is pretty impressive. You can see tech really shine here in, you know, on the right here, we have sort of an older version of this technology, and on the right, we have tech. You can see like the belt vanishes as our character circles around here, whereas tech manages to maintain it. The texture on the jeans and everything look much better on the tech side. Here's another example that takes a number of other older models, I guess, and showcases just exactly how far tech has come. The code for tech is not available yet, but will be soon. In the meantime, if you want to play around with this type of technology, you can check out csm.ai, which I've covered on the channel before. It's a very similar 2D image to 3D model platform that is free. You can check it out at the link below. Next up is Wave Journey, which is a really cool AI audio storytelling generator that uses a variety of different AI tools that kind of combines them together to create a narrative for you. Pretty easy to use. You just type in instructions here and then hit generate script. I'm not exactly sure why, but the Night of the Living Dead news broadcast kind of popped into my head, so I decided to prompt 1950s era American news report. The dead are rising from their graves and attacking people. Citizens are urged to avoid graveyards. If the living dead approach you, stop them with blunt force to their heads. You know, the classic method. Hit the generate audio button, and in a few minutes, you have, an audio story. Let's take a listen to this real quick.
Now to our main broadcasting. This is a public service announcement. Attention to all citizens. There have been reports of the deceased rising from their graves and attacking people. We strongly urge the public to avoid graveyards at all times. If you encounter these walking deceased, remember your safety is paramount. Use force, preferably targeting their heads, to stop them.
So that's pretty awesome. There were, of course, a couple of minor issues. For example, we did prompt 1950 American television broadcast and ended up with a British broadcaster. And if you look at the waveform here, you can see that there were some kind of long pauses and spaces where things didn't happen. So I did have to cut that audio up a little bit. But I did speak with Zebo Liu, one of the project's creators. This is a university project and it is student driven. So, forgive some hiccups as they move the project forward. It is free to use. The link is down below. Moving from one of the best horror movies ever made to one of the best horror authors of all time. Stephen King has recently weighed in on AI with an essay that he wrote for The Atlantic. In the essay, King wrote, "Creativity can't happen without sentience. And there are now arguments that some AIs are indeed sentient. If that's true now or in the future, then creativity might be possible. I view this possibility with a certain dreadful fascination. Would I forbid the teaching, if that is the word, of my stories to computers? Not even if I could. I might as well be King Canute forbidding the tide to come in, or Luddite trying to stop industrial progress by hammering a steam loom to pieces." So there you go. Long days and pleasant nights to you, Mr. King. Next up, we have another free AI image to video generator. This one, once again, is over on Hugging Space. I have the feeling that we're going to see Hugging Space quite a lot coming up on the channel, and is called MS Image to Video. It's a very simple platform. All you need to do is drag an image into this dialog box. This was an image that I rolled up in Midjourney, and hit submit. So I will say that the video it produces is a little bit like early Gen 2. Actually fairly coherent in all honesty. I will say that you should always use 16:9 images for this platform, as when you use 9:16s, things get a little bit on the wonky side. For example, I take this Leonardo output of Danielle Van Den Donk as a pirate. As we have previously learned on this channel, that looks nothing like Danielle Van Den Donk, and Danielle Van Den Donk is a Dutch football player. I actually just used her as an example because in the last video, I mistakenly called her Danish and got yelled at in the comments. But I did just find out that she got suspended recently, so that's a shame. Sorry about that, Danielle. But I will say, by using a 9:16 image, the model ends up with a kind of a certain gaze. So just be aware of that. You probably want to use 9:16. I don't actually blame the model. I don't think it's actually trying to leer. I just think that it's really focusing on the middle level of the image. I will say that the output does come out a little bit on the low side. The image resolution is 448 by 256, but hey, it is free. For a quick comparison, this is the same image reference generated by Gen 2. So that's it for today. I thank you for watching, and I thank you for considering the Patreon. My name is Tim.